when we were looking for our brand ambassador also, I think the biggest thing that came into our mind is that we are a customer driven brand. Most of our campaigns that we have done till now has been customer facing. Like on Women's Day, we'll make customers as the face of the brand. We put customer in center of everything that we do here at Zouk. So it was very important for us that our customer needs to connect the personality with what Zouk is in their mind.
Hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Indianaut podcast, where we interview some of India's next best analytical and creative minds who are not only revolutionizing their own field, but at the same time transforming India's entrepreneurial ecosystem one step at a time.
Our guest for the day is the founder of Zouk, a D2C fashion brand that operates in the bags, wallets, and footwear categories. Bringing together the contemporary and the traditional, Zouk brings India's vibrant culture to the modern world through its design language. Our guest started Zouk after experiences in fashion, healthcare, banking, and energy sectors. The idea came to her during her MBA at IIM Ahmedabad, following her engineering degree. We have with us Disha Singh. Let us jump right into the conversation.
Hi Disha, I hope you're all settled in.
Yes, 100%. Thank you so much for having me, Gautam.
Excellent. Let's get started, shall we? So, sure. Disha, let's start from the very beginning. Okay. The idea of Zouk stemmed out of a college trip, I believe, during your MBA years.
Yes.
So my first question is, what motivated you and your co-founder, Pradeep, to start Zouk straight from the campus of IIM Ahmedabad? And as an entrepreneur, how important was the role of your MBA education in deciding, decision-making as well as strategy formulation for Zouk?
Got it. So Gautam, I'll first start with the whole story and then maybe touch upon the MBA aspect, that is because that's very interesting. So as you rightly said, Gautam, so we started, the whole idea of Zouk came to me in the second year of MBA. So we have one course for which we go to Kutch. There, apart from our course material, we also see a lot of local craftsman work. And there, me and my friends saw a lot of different kinds of work, and we also saw a lot of beautiful looking bags. And everybody was appreciating it. But what happened at the end of the day were none of them bought anything, and that surprised me. And I was like, if you are liking the craftsmanship so much and everything, why are you not buying at the end of the day? So I spoke to my friends, and the two main things which came out was, one, they were like that these bags are very bright in color. They have a lot of craftsmanship which is not so modern, and this is not something that they will be able to carry to office. And I think the second thing that came out was that they were like, there is no functionality in these bags. So there is no laptop compartment where we can put laptop once we graduate and start working and stuff like that, right? So that got me thinking. And when I returned from the trip, I have already decided that I want to start something. And that also has a story. But I started looking at the bag space very closely, and I looked at all the bags brand at that point of time, and I realized is that most of the brands at that point of time, and now as well, were just copying the Western designs and bringing it to India. In fact, they were so similar looking that if you remove their tags one apart from the other, you will not be able to tell which is from which brand. And that has got me thinking that if I bring an India-inspired, design-led bag with modern functionality, there is a space for me to build out the business. And that's it. And that's how, that was the thought behind it. And unlike, figuring out the TAM first and go to marketing first and all that, there was nothing that I did. So to answer your second question, I think in the early 1 year of my business, I think I have not used anything from the MBA apart from saying that I am from IIM, maybe ye help kar do ya wo help kar do, right? But yeah, of course we have our journey, and there's a lot of things that MBA teaches you in different format, right? But when we started, it was all about that gut and feel. It was all about that figuring out that one niche for ourselves and then building from there. And when we started also, traditionally MBA teaches you that, if you want to know whether your product works or not, then you run a survey, you ask them whether you're willing to pay and all that, right? But that is not what we did. When we started, we went out, created 200 laptop bags, sold them physically, and that was our proof of concept, like at least a very early proof of concept, right? So that's how we started.
That's incredible, Disha. And I think being inspired by such a local product from from a tier 2 region, I think that's incredible, right? And bringing it to the masses, bringing it to the urban cities and tier 1 cities, I think that's amazing. And Disha, before we proceed further, I just want to ask you one thing. How did you go about selecting the name Zouk for your brand?
It's very interesting. So there is again no, science behind it. But when we were looking for the name for our brand, and we were, that time we have decided that what kind of product we want to make. And Pradeep was on a trip to Dubai. So there is a, gold souk, which is in Hindi means bazaar. Okay? So we really liked the whole concept, but we didn't wanted to call ourselves bazaar because we, at that time also our ambition, and now also we have an ambition of building Zouk from India to the world. So we picked up Zouk. I don't know, somehow I wanted the name from Z. I always felt Z sounds very classier. We attached Z to it and Zouk came. And to be very, very open with you, we searched on Google. We didn't know that there is a word called Zouk. We thought humne banaya hai. But then we searched on Google and we realized that interestingly, Zouk is a vibrant dance form, which is a culmination of two different cultures altogether. And it just clicked at that moment that we are also trying to bring together the age-old culture to the modern world. And that's how Zouk was born.
That's incredible. That's incredible, Disha. So, Disha, let's build on this further. So, let's talk about your marketing strategy and your brand a bit more. Okay. You've recently signed Sara Ali Khan as Zouk's brand ambassador. Congratulations on that, first of all.
Thank you so much.
So, how do you think this association will help the brand image and reach for Zouk? And additionally, you just spoke about the Zouk, the meaning behind the word, right? The actual meaning behind the word. And I think there's a little bit commonality between that as well as your own brand image. So, I'd love to understand Zouk's marketing teams and their main initiatives and how they are helping in crafting the brand image of Zouk.
Sure. So, Gautam, I think for us, it was always about what we stand for has to culminate in our products. And you will see that is very clear. So all our products, whatever, in fact, we initially started with bags, we have wallets, and now we have footwear as well, which again follows the theme ethos of India inspired with modern use case. So we were very clear that, this India inspired bringing to modern world is what we want to build on, and which is very clearly communicated in our products. But it's not only the role of a product to speak what your vision is, and it's also about the marketing. And you rightly we recently signed Sara Ali Khan, and a lot of people tell us you're very late into the brand ambassador game. But I think what we have realized is that this is the right time for us, and most importantly, I think we have got the right face for us. The right personality for us. When we were looking for our brand ambassador also, I think the biggest thing that came into our mind is that we are a customer driven brand. Most of our campaigns that we have done till now has been customer facing. Like on Women's Day, we'll make customers as the face of the brand. We put customer in center of everything that we do here at Zouk. So it was very important for us that our customer needs to connect the personality with what Zouk is in their mind. And I think Sara does that fabulously well. She is a perfect combination of being Indian to the core, but modern in the way she leads her life, the kind of choices she's making. So, it was a very natural fit for us. So that's one way of us saying that we want to take this to the next level. And Sara embodies this whole messaging of you can be Indian but at the same time very modern for everything that you do. And similarly, we everything that we do here in terms of branding, marketing, everything follows the same ethos. In fact, and I'm just picking a small thing, if you look at our color palettes as well, the brand colors that we have, those are also modern. Like we will have a Zouk blue, but we'll have a sandstone red as well. So sandstone red is a very Indian age-old orange color, and Zouk blue is a very modern color. So from that to the fonts that we use, to the influencers that we collaborate with, and the campaigns that we do, embodies everything. So we will we will do a proudly Indian messaging in all of our communication, but in a very modern way. And Gautam, if you look at the brand colors that we use, there will be one Zouk blue, which is a very modern color, but there will also be a sandstone red, which is a very Indian orangish color that we see ubiquitous in India. From the colors to fonts to all the messaging that we do on our social is very proudly Indian, yet very modern. Right? And the same translate in our campaigns also. So be it we are working with influencers, the way we will collaborate with them to different takes of festive via my social media team will be very India inspired, but yet for the modern sensibility. So that's how, and that's why our customers also connect with what we want to say. And if you ask them, what Zouk stands for, they will say that it's a modern Indian brand, because that's the same messaging that we have done across the layers.
Disha, over here at Indianaut, we love to showcase stories such as yours, where, the core aspect is building in India for India and eventually from India for the world. I think your brand is a beautiful representation of that, and the initiatives that you've been taking and the brand imagery that you're forming, I think that's incredible. And that makes me really happy to highlight it here on the Indianaut podcast.
Thank you. And I think, Pradeep and I very strongly believe that first wave of lifestyle brands were built from Western to India. But this wave of, brands are going to build from India to the world. And we are seeing it across, be it Mama, Sugar, both for that matter. And, that's how, the next 10 years is going to evolve in the brand space is what we very strongly believe in.
Definitely, Disha. So, Disha, let's switch gears now. We spoke about marketing and branding. Let's talk about distribution, right? So, another congratulations are in order. Zouk recently opened its first ever brick and mortar store here in Mumbai, right? What was that experience like? And what is your vision for physical stores? And what is the reasoning behind opening a physical store in the first place when you have such a strong online presence?
The amount of time that we have spent on deciding the one tile se leke rack se leke everything in our store, I think we have never put that much amount of time in anything, in fact, be it in our home, in our office, or anywhere for that matter. But I think it's a great feeling for an online first DTC brand to go offline, have that physical presence and be present in beside all the legacy brands which are out there. So a big milestone for us, and I know there is more to come in the coming years. The reason behind this was, Gautam, we realized is that even though we are growing rapidly online and there is a lot of space for us to grow online, majority of India in this particular category still buys offline. And we realized that it's a good time for us. We have a lot of customer love. We also we have reached a certain scale, and we realized that this is a high time that we also open our first physical store and start building our thesis for offline, and so that within the next 1 or 2 years, we are ready to expand on offline. So in terms of our plans for offline, so we have opened our first exclusive brand outlet in Mumbai, as you said. Along with that, we have started 2 more, one in Bangalore. In fact, we have started our multi-brand outlet in Delhi, and we are present in 50 plus retail touchpoints. So our whole aim is that next one year we will be working on our thesis on offline. We'll be working on what we want, do's and don't for us at Zouk, and then expanding from there. But in the short term, Gautam, we will be looking at opening more stores in the key cities that we have seen traction in from the online space as well.
Understood, Disha. Disha, let's build on this further. With Zouk's recent funding of $3 million, what is your plan on utilizing these funds besides increasing distribution channels? So to, for example, expand the product portfolio. What other plans do you have besides that?
Sure. So Gautam, any business has 3 main pillars, that is brand, distribution, and products, as you rightly said, right? The whole reason for us to raise funds was that we were pouring into offline. So distribution is where we want to put in the money that we have raised. Along with that, we want to expand on our product category. So you must have seen that we have been quite focused on bags as a category, and that too women working women bag as a category. We have recently started expanding into the other use cases. In the coming few months, you will see us foray into travel as well. So that's where we will be putting our efforts, along with growing our current bags category as well. And on brand side, we have already done our biggest investment for this year by taking Sara as our brand ambassador. But there's a lot of things those are in pipeline, from Zouk Empowers program that we are building up on to give back to the community, to the different initiatives that we want to take for a modern Indian woman. So all our these places we will be utilizing these funds, along with building a very strong backbone via our teams. So we have been blessed to have teams which are super excited, super enthusiastic, and super hardworking, and they have been instrumental in the way Zouk has been growing. So we will be doubling down on our team as well.
That is incredible, Disha. And Disha, another part of your expansion plan that you previously mentioned is your foray into international markets. So as you venture into international markets, for example, you've recently ventured into US and Canada, how do you plan on addressing the cultural differences and appeal to a foreign audience for the Indian and local inspired vision of Zouk?
Got it. So, Gautam, international is still something that we are experimenting right now. We do have some anecdotal ways of saying that Zouk will have resonance there, given a lot of our customers from India do buy gifts from Zouk for their NRI friends or the native people out there. And based on that and some market intel, we have realized that the kind of products that we are making here, which is India inspired but modern for that matter, is something which will find resonance in international places. But it's very early for us to say. Also, festive is just upon us, so we are focusing on that. So the next few quarters might not be focus on international, but definitely second half next year is when we want to double down on our foray into international. And along the journey, whichever orders are coming, whatever bespoke we are doing via our website, Amazon.com, is something that we'll keep serving. But the focus on international will start next year, given festive is there, our offline expansion in India is there, and we do see that there in itself in India we have a lot of space to grow. But we want to build out the India to the world story, but that has to wait till next year.
Definitely, Disha. And I think this podcast is happening at a very critical time for you because, like you mentioned, holiday readiness is upon you. And so I'd love to get a sneak peek into that. How are you and Team Zouk preparing for the upcoming holiday season? With respect to all various aspects, be it distribution, be it your online presence, so on and so forth. I'd love to understand your strategy behind this holiday season.
There's no strategy. We are just working hard. That's all. We are working around the clock. We are working hard. But jokes apart, I think for any Indian brand who's serving in India, I think the second half of the year is the most critical half, and as soon as Ganpati start, the buying season will start. So we have to, of course, align all our teams, starting from production to procurement to product design to your marketing to revenue teams to CX team as well. So everywhere the load increases, everywhere you need to put in those extra efforts as well as that strategy to tackle month on month. So I think. For us, we have few exciting launches which are going to come in the next couple of months. I can't talk about it right now, but would love to share it as soon as it's about to launch. But from the products point of view, as I was saying, that we are expanding categories, so that you will see a lot of newer categories coming in the next 2 months itself. Also, we are experimenting a lot on our D2C platform in terms of how to make our website more easier to navigate, create to use to our customers, from using video-based content to doing a lot of customization on one-click checkout. So there's a lot of work which has gone to make buying easier on our website, given D2C is our strength, along with, of course, the other marketplaces. So I think every team is gearing up and embracing for that festive to start.
That is incredible, Disha, and I wish you the very best of luck for the same.
Thank you so much.
So, Disha, we spoke about the upcoming year. We spoke about your plans for the next year as well. Let's talk about your ultimate vision. Okay. So, as an entrepreneur, from your days at IIM Ahmedabad, what has been your ultimate vision for Zouk, and how does that align with your personal values and aspirations as an Indianaut?
Got it. So, Gautam, I'll start with personal because, for anybody for that matter, be it entrepreneur or anybody who's building their life, I think personal drives the professional. To me, my aim in life is to leave back a legacy. And for me, Zouk will be that legacy. And why we chose what we are doing is because that we very strongly believe, like Pradeep and I very strongly believe that India has that potential to build brands from India to the world. We are much older in civilization as compared to a lot of other civilization out there. We have a lot of culture which is unexplored even in India as well. So there's a lot that can be done on these ethos itself, that bringing that India inspired to the modern and then from India to the world. So our vision is very clear. We want to build the most iconic lifestyle brand from India to the world. We started with bags, wallets, and footwear. We will make it a lifestyle, and of course expand into everything and anything that our customer would proudly carry in India as well as around the globe.
That's amazing, Disha. That is amazing. And it's always really nice to hear, when an entrepreneur's personal passion fuels into their business. So I think that's really, really incredible to hear.
100%. I think that's why you are more invested in it. You're 100% in it. And even if there are, times in your life where you feel that chhod dete hai, nahi ho raha hai, tough ho raha hai, I think this is what drives you to take it ahead. So, yeah.
That's amazing. So, Disha, let's switch gears a bit and let's have a little bit of fun. Can you share any fun or interesting anecdotes from your journey into entrepreneurship with your husband that most people wouldn't know?
With Pradeep, I think every day is fun. So if you talk to him, he's a very different personality. I'm a very different personality. I think a lot of times we have fought during the meetings. I think everybody in the room would be very quiet and like, oh, okay, what's next, right? And we will just walk out like nothing happened, right? So I think we come from a lot of space of comfort, given we know each other for so long, and actually that helps us. We are very sure that what we are running towards, what our combined vision is. So even if there are hurdles, and there are 100% hurdles every day on day, there are challenges day on day, we both know that we are aligned for the greater good for the company. But yeah, I think we keep on having that discussions in the meeting rooms, and people will be quiet for some time. I don't know how it's going next, right? But it's fun to see their faces and we walking out and we are like, "Arey, kuch nahi hua." Right? So it is always like kuch nahi hua. Like,
you're making your employees uncomfortable.
No. Now I think they have also realized that work is separate. After 5 minutes, they all will be having lunch together, and I think that's what you need, right? You have to put your point across, right? You have to fight it out in the meeting room, and then the best idea needs to win, and that's very, very important, right? So I think we follow that very thoroughly. But that's one of the cases. But I think, Gautam, there have been a lot of interesting things that have happened from the beginning to now. From when I started, and I have no background in manufacturing, and none of my family also has any background in manufacturing. I used to go to Dharavi almost every day. I used to go in the morning, used to visit the gallas there, try to like, I had just one paper. I'm not even a designer, so I cannot even sketch well. So I used to just show them in the paper, yeah, I want to make something from vegan leather and handcrafted fabric, and this is how it's going to look and stuff like that. And I think initial 15 days, though, it was not even clear in my head. So it took me some time to clear first, and then it took me a lot of time to convince that first person in Dharavi to even say yes, ki chalo, let me try making with you. So it has always been very interesting in how people how people look at you, how what are the challenges you have never faced, you have never thought that this will happen in your life, and coming from worked at different places, the kind of education I have and stuff like that, it was very new experience for me. But that is what I think grounds you. That is also something something that you remember for the long term, and that also you include in your culture as well as the way you move forward. And I think that also helps you always operate in that day zero format. So one of some of the stories from the earlier days as well, and of course we keep on facing new challenges every now and then. But I think when I started also at that time, I didn't have any manufacturing background or designing background for that matter, and it took me some time convincing that one person for Dharavi to say yes to me, to even do a sampling for me. I think I used to go every morning, go to visit different galas, try to convince people that I'm trying to make fabric plus vegan leather combination bag, which they were like they have never made it and they were very comfortable in what they were doing. So it took me a lot of, I think the first person who said yes to me said after 1.5 months. So it took me that much time, every day going, coming. My parents used to say, "Ke ye kya kar rahe ho tum apne life mein?" And I don't know, but n number of things you used to hear. But what happens is that all these challenges that you face early on and now as well keeps you grounded, keeps you very. It makes you understand that every new thing that you start, how much so ever big you are, is a new learning. And you can never assume that you are big enough for something. You cannot assume that you know everything. Like when we started offline, we are big enough on online, but that doesn't mean that offline we'll be able to crack, right? We have to put that 100%. We have to learn from as many sources as possible and build out the offline journey for us. So I think all this fun which happens along the way, all the challenges that feel makes it, I think that's what makes life. So yeah.
That's incredible, Disha. That is true. That is really, warming to hear, to be honest. And I wish you the best of luck as you continue on this journey and take Zouk to international markets and beyond.
Very soon. Long way for us to go, but yes.
Absolutely. So, Disha, I have one last question for you. And this is something we ask everyone on the podcast.
Sure.
What advice do you have for other aspiring entrepreneurs, or as we like to call them, Indianauts?
Sure. I think I have two. One is just that ask for help. I think that is something which has really helped me from the very beginning to now. Also, I ask for help for anything that I don't know. Like be it chote se chota thing to biggest thing, I keep on asking. And trust me, I don't know why we as a community don't ask and we assume कि ठीक है maybe सामने वाला नहीं बताएगा या फिर we feel that maybe I don't know how will I look and stuff like that. I think if you want to be entrepreneur in general in life, right, you have to ask, because if you don't ask, you will never know. If you ask, the chances are much higher that you might come to an answer, right? So I ask everybody and anybody for any छोटे से चीज लेके बड़े से बड़ा चीज, because I don't want to lose out because I had this hesitation कि what will people think or whether they'll answer or not, right? We have to give that shot. I think that's one. Second is that get mentors for yourself. I have been blessed to have great mentors backing me. Sunil Handa sir is my mentor, who's my professor from IIM Ahmedabad, very close. Vinita is my mentor, who's the founder of Sugar. along with we have a set of D2C founders who are backing us as well and have been mentors in our journey, be it Varun Ghazal from Mama Earth, Manish from Mouse Consensus, Ashutosh from Beardo. So you will hear me saying a lot of names because we have surrounded ourselves with a lot of good mentors, and that really helps you in smaller problems, bigger problem, thinking outside the box to getting third person perspective, right? So I think get mentors for yourselves. And the last thing would be entrepreneurship is a tough journey. Surround yourself with people who really support you, because you don't want that you are struggling at work, or you are there are new challenges every day at work, and when you want to when you go back home you still have challenges, right? Surround yourself with people who are supportive, who are encouraging. It's very, very important, and we sometimes don't value it so much, but it really helps you, because entrepreneurship is not a sprint. It's a long race, and you have to be at it for a very long time to make something out of yourself, and in that you need as many supporters, as many cheerleaders as possible. So I think this will be my top 3 advices to anybody I meet.
That is amazing, Disha. And also, I want to commend you on your list of advisors when you mentioned those names. I definitely feel that you're getting the best possible advice as well as mentorship from subject matter experts across industry, be it academia or be it the domain itself. So that is amazing,
Sure,
Disha.
sure. That's it. That's what I said. I'm blessed to have them, but it's very easy to find mentors. But you should be willing to find mentors, and I think they will take you a long way.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Disha, for joining us today. We wish you, Pradeep, as well as Zouk the very best for the future.
Thank you so much. It was lovely chatting with you, Gautam. You have a very lively energy, and all the best to you too.
Thank you so much, Disha. We had a really incredible time having you here. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for this episode. The Indianaut podcast is available on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook to see all updates on the upcoming episodes. We'll see you in the next one.